Good afternoon.
Yes, yes, ma'am. So, drawing case, sir. Ma'am, you can start now.
No race can prosper until it learns there is as much dignity in tilling a field as in writing a poem. With this noble thought, I would like to wish everyone a very warm afternoon. I'm your host for the day, Assistant Professor Dr. Analatin, Department of Economics, Pune College of Arts and Commerce. I welcome you all to the National Symposium on Challenges and Opportunities for Farmers in India on the occasion of Farmers' Day, jointly organized by AKI's Pune College of Arts, Science and Commerce and Sacred Heart College, Kerala. Without any further delay, I
In
would
a
like
meeting.
our student, Kavish,
In a meeting.
the final year MA student, to recite a few verses of the Holy Quran.
No,
Kavish,
I'll send it today. Hmm?
Can you hear me?
yes, start that.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة الرحمن الرحيم. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون. هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. صدق الله ملك.
Thank you, Kavish. I would request Professor Dr. Aftab Anwar Sheikh, sir, Principal of AKI's Pune College of Arts, Science and Commerce, to give the welcome and presidential address. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon to one and all. At the outset, I take this opportunity to welcome the dignitaries present today. Greetings from Y&M Anjuman Khairul Islam's Pune College of Arts, Science and Commerce, affiliated to Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune, and Sacred Heart College, affiliated to University of Calicut, Kerala, India. Today's keynote speaker, Dr. R.H. Deshpande, sir, our head of the Department Economics of Savitribai Phule Pune University, Professor Dr. Vilas Adhav, guest speakers, Dr. Rajesh K, Mr. Rajat Mehrotra, Dr. Shahid Ansari, Dr. Anna Mateen, my colleagues and dear participants who have come, who are there from all across India. It is an honor and a privilege for me to extend a warm welcome to all the dignitaries and delegates present at this webinar. Today is Farmers' Day. Kisan Divas or National Farmers' Day is observed on December 23 across the country to praise the farmers as they are the spine of India. The day was chosen to honor the birth anniversary of the 5th Prime Minister of India, Chaudhry Charan Singh. He was born on December 23, 1902. Farmers hold the backbone of agricultural system in India, as it is common knowledge that for a country to progress, the gross domestic product should be reasonable. Agriculture is one of the important part. The agricultural system will only run if there are crops being grown and harvested. So these where the farmers come in. They help the agricultural sector growth, which not only feeds the local people, but also gives the advantage to the economy by exporting the given food to the foreign countries. When we thought of bringing the scholars who are doing research in these areas to bring them on a common platform to share and discuss the research work and findings so that we all are mutually benefited. This webinar will definitely expand our knowledge horizon and may give dimension to our research activities. I'm very much thankful to Honorable Dr. R.S. Deshpande sir, Honorable Vilas Adav sir, both the guest speakers for being with us. And once again, on behalf of Pune College and Sacred Heart College, I extend our heartiest welcome to you all and hope that we will continue to have your blessings, good wishes, and wholehearted support. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Have with us Dr. Vilas Adav, sir, HOD of Department of Economics, Savitribai Phule University. Sir, I would request your few words of appreciation and motivation for us. Can you please just unmute yourself? And I was really happy to see you with us joining today.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Anna. I heartily welcome all of you to see this August gathering webinar. My guru, my Baba, I call him Baba, Professor R.S. Deshpande. Whatever I have stand in the academic field and this life because of Professor R.S. Deshpande sir, and my beloved friend, Principal Aftab Sheikh Saab, and all dignitaries. I welcome on behalf of Savitribai Phule Pune University of this webinar. So I don't want to stuck much time between Professor R.A. Deshpande and you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining. Now, I would request Dr. Shirley George ma'am, Associate Professor of Economics and IQAC Coordinator, Sacred Heart College, to kindly throw some light on the theme of this symposium. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Anna. I hope I'm audible. Okay. A very warm good afternoon to all of you over here. Respected Chief Guest of the day, Dr. Deshpande, esteemed Principal, Professor Dr. Aftab Anwar Sheikh, other dignitaries, and all the participants in the seminar. The Department of Economics, Pune College of Arts, Science and Commerce, in association with the Department of Economics, Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, is organizing a national symposium on challenges, opportunities for farmers in India. The topic chosen for this symposium is vast but very relevant, especially in the backdrop of the epic protest which is being led by the Punjab farmers who sired India's Green Revolution, and also because we are commemorating National Farmers' Day today. I just want to share a few general observations about Indian agriculture, which all of you must be familiar with. We are all aware that India is an agricultural nation. Agriculture contributes only 16% of GDP, but it is the largest employment providing sector. If we look at the number of actual people who are engaged in farming, it is close to 500 million. The fact is that hundreds of millions of people could shift to alternative options. Agricultural policies, right from the very beginning, have only succeeded in perpetuating marginal farming in India. India needs to shift to more efficient and sustainable farming practices. Growing more food is not the only option for us. What we need to do is figure out a way for providing meaningful employment opportunities outside agriculture. Failing to do so is a failure of human development and goes against the sustainable development goals of the United Nations, besides being a threat to national security. The challenge before India today is to increase farmers' incomes. And Indian support for agriculture has ranged from administered prices to subsidized or even free inputs like power, water, and fertilizers. What we need to do today is to improve the productivity and efficiency in agriculture, make a proper pricing of inputs like water and fertilizers, use a better system of direct benefit transfers, tax high income agricultural farmers, and go for organic farming. But what I'd like to add is that the policies need to differentiate between the food staple crops and the cash crops. So, solving the farm livelihoods challenge cannot be done by ignoring farmers or farming. So, today, to deal with different aspects of this particular topic, like issues of farmers, credit schemes available for farmers, agricultural marketing, and rural indebtedness, we have eminent speakers to enlighten us on different aspects of agriculture. With this, I finish up and over to you, Anna ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri. Now, I would like to request Dr. Cheku Joseph, Head of the Department of Economics, Sacred Heart College, to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Rajesh K. Over to
Thank
you.
you, thank you, Dr. Anna. I'm extremely happy to introduce the first speaker of the day, Dr. Rajesh K. He will be speaking on the topic Farmer's Story in India. Dr. Rajesh is presently Assistant Professor, School of Management and Entrepreneurship, Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies, Ernakulam, Kerala. He did his master's degree from Central University of Hyderabad in economics and his PhD from Cochin University of Science and Technology. Before joining the KUFOS, Kerala Fisheries University, he worked as assistant professor at St. Aloysius College, Thrissur from 2012 to 2019. Before that, he also worked at the Rubber Board, which is under the Ministry of Commerce, Government of India, for a period as a scientist. Dr. Rajesh is a researcher with a lot of research papers and a good research experience with a number of UGC minor projects, and he has also worked as a research fellow in coastal zone management in Kerala, a study of political economy of sustainable development. He has contributed a large number of papers to various journals, and much more than that, what I appreciate in my friend Dr. Rajesh is that he is a popular writer. He does not confine his knowledge to scientific community alone. He does not confine his knowledge to scientific journals alone. He is a popular writer in newspapers, and he writes regularly in newspapers, Malayalam dailies basically, and related publications on issues related to economics. So I have great pleasure to have Dr. Rajesh as a resource person for this national conference as we are organizing on the occasion of National Farmers Day. And he will be giving us an overview of the situation of farmers in India. So I wholeheartedly welcome Dr. Rajesh for his presentation, Farmer's Story in India. Thank you.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, you're
Yes,
audible.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Chako Jose, for giving me an introduction. And before starting my presentation, let me express my sincere thanks to AKI Pune College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Pune, and Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, for inviting me to this national symposium. Actually, I'm extremely happy and privileged to share a panel with great economists like Deshpande sir. Sir, hello sir, and I'm actually happy along with happiness, bit of nervousness is also there. Okay, so I'll be moving directly to my presentation. So can you, yeah, I share my slide. Is visible?
Yes, yes. You can maximize your slide. It's visible.
I think I'll try again, sir. Some problem is there. Yeah. Is it okay, sir?
Yeah, we can see. Okay, fine, fine.
Yeah. So today I'll be select. I have selected this topic, farmer story in India, and as we all know that today we observe as Farmers Day, December 23rd. I think since 2001 onwards, we have started to observe this particular day as Farmers Day. And again, we have to know that today is the 28th day of farmers' protest at Delhi. And uh, again, we all know that during the monsoon session of Parliament, government immediately called for this Parliament and introduced these bills. Now it became a law. And the rest of the things we might be knowing, like Shiromani Akali leader Harsmitra Kaul Badal resigned she was resigned from the ministry, and 8 MPs got suspension, and we have witnessed a nationwide protest against this farmers bill. In my presentation, I am not going to discuss anything about farmers bill. What I'll do is see this Farmers Day in one sense, and another sense that farmers protected Delhi itself shows certain contradictions. So when we want to analyze or when we want to understand this farmers bill, it is very important to understand the farmers of India. That is why I have selected this particular topic and I have named as farmer story. So unlike the other stories here, initially I have raised certain questions. Have you ever tried to understand that who is a farmer? We know farmers and we know many billionaires, we know many millionaires and billionaires, but we are not able to name or even spell even a single farmer in our country. So why we are not able to remember any of those people? Because we are considering in the globalized era or the neoliberal economy, we are considering a person's value in terms of their money towards economy. Like that is why we are assigning the term called a millionaire or billionaire. And no farmer in India, we cannot find even a single farmer in India who became a millionaire or a billionaire. And again, another question like how many farmers are there in India? How much they possess land? Then the contribution. See, I'm not going to give you the answer, the concrete answer to any of these questions. Rather than I'll show you different pictures or I'll give you some extract picture about the farmers. And regarding the contribution of farmers, see here how much they are contributing to the nation building. Maybe from our textbook, traditional textbook like growth and development or development economics. I'm not talking about that particular aspect. Rather than say, for example, if I say that they are subsidizing our food. See, now I'm able to purchase rice for 40 kg per 40 rupees per kg in Kerala. So, I mean, they are producing huge amount because we are around 135 crores of population. So, if the production became half, then the price will be going up. So, in that sense, they are subsidizing our entire products. And again, unlike other products, there is no substitute for agricultural products. Rice, we can say that wheat can be a substitute, but rice and wheat, all these agricultural products are very, very important for our our sustainability of the livelihood. So, have you ever think in that direction? And what is the average income of a farmer? Then there are certain apprehensions regarding the farmers who is there in India. And apart from this, is there any other problems? Do they face any other problems? So then if you look at, I used in my first slide, I deliberately used one word called contradiction. If you look at this table, that in 1950, you might be knowing that 50 to 51, the largest chunk of contribution came from agriculture sector, and now it came down. It became around 16, and it is coming down. And at the same of employment, during that time, 70% of the people who were working in depending upon agriculture for their livelihood, and now that figure came down. And there are certain reports that the figure came down up to 49. I mean, I have just quoted 53. Again, if you look at one more table, then even though the contribution from agriculture to GDP has decreased, the agriculture production has been increased. There is no doubt at all. Here, the point is that national income has increased a lot. So the contribution from agriculture sector has came down. So production is there, and thanks to green revolution or blue revolution or white revolution, and now we are all talking about what we call the rainbow revolution. So because of that, we are able to produce a lot. And again, when the production is increasing, naturally, if it is any other sector like any other industrial sector or service sector, definitely that benefit will be spread or the share between the people who are behind that production. Here, the farmers are behind that production. Are they getting the benefit? I'm just leaving a question. And if you look at the productivity, I think in India, we are blessed. We can cultivate almost all products available in the world. But in terms of productivity, we are not at all ahead. Even in the case of jute, Bangladesh is productivity of Bangladesh is higher than that of India. And that is another aspect of productivity. But then these are all the points we have to think. At the same time, I'll come back to these issues. Then I can show you some of the all these I have quoted from either from Economic Times or Times of India, Hindu, etc. Then UP farmers give potatoes for free at price protest. In that same year, June 2017, you might be knowing that 6 farmers were shot dead at UP. Sorry, Madhya Pradesh. The reason is same, and they were demanding a minimum support price for the tomato, and the farmers want minimum support price as 8 rupees per kg. At the same time, in Kerala, we were getting tomatoes. We are not producing tomatoes. We were getting tomatoes for 25 rupees per kg. I'm quoting this figure because during that time, even I published one paper in the local daily. That is why I have quoted that example. And you can see this is not an isolated incident. Throughout the year, across the countries, except in Kerala, you can see this type of news that farmers dump tomatoes on roads following low price. And again, Punjab farmers, they are again protest from Punjab. Then we have, this is the new recent news, like the cauliflower prices came down. So one side I said the product, the total production has increased. At the same time, when we are looking at the price, the farmer, ultimately farmers are not getting the benefit. There are so many reasons. Farmers who are cultivating at UP or Rajasthan, they may not be able to sell. Uh, we have problem with the market, we have problem with the transportation, we have problem with the intermediaries. And then yeah, somebody was talking about doubling farmers income. See, even our Niti Aayog, they published a report. Our Prime Minister was keep on telling about this doubling farmers income. And have you ever think what is the farmers present income? And recently, in 2019, there was a committee report by Dalwai. According to that report, the farmers' annual income is around 77,976 rupees only. See, the national income of India, our per capita income has crossed 1 lakh. Okay, at the same time, the farmer's income is just 70 or 18,000 only. And if you look at the cost of production, you will be getting almost the same figure. The net result or the net income was very, very, very less for the farmers. Then why do they cultivate? For whom they cultivate? This is another aspect we have to think. Then another issue is like a farmer suicide. And from 1995 to 2017, over the span of that 22 years, around 3.4 lakhs farmers committed suicide in India. The Pune people knowing better than this. And see, during that time, the per capita around 47 farmers were committing suicide in India. And now the government claims that the farmer suicide has been coming down. And actually, we don't have data since 2017. Now, the government is not revealing the exclusive data on farmer suicide. Then, here, government has done, I mean, everybody claims that they have done a lot of things to solve the problems of farmers. And it was in 2000, for the first time, we have formulated a national agricultural policy, followed by that Swaminathan Commission. Then the National Commission for Farmers were there, and Swaminathan Commission prepared 5 different reports and submitted to the government in 2004, even during that 2005, by December 2005. And since then, those who are in opposition, they used to talk about Swaminathan Commission report. And when they are coming to power, they won't talk about Swaminathan Commission report. And in that commission report, he specifically mentioned about the, I mean, that the problem of farmers, that the farmers are not getting the benefit. So we have to provide there is a formula proposed by Swaminathan Commission, and the government was not bothered, especially when they are in the power, they are not bothering about the Swaminathan Commission. And again, we know that in WTO, in 1995, we have signed the WTO. And again, the major reason that we heard during that time, that in order to avoid the price fluctuations, and agricultural, we know the particular feature of this commodity, it is perishable in nature, and price fluctuation is the major issue. And even after the WTO's agreement, the price fluctuation is also there. And government earlier, I mean, we have been providing what we call the minimum support price, and officially 23 commodities commodities are protected with the MSP, that support. And now the farmers are not sure about the future of MSP. Maybe I'm not discussing that aspect. So that even though we are providing support price and all, price fluctuation is the major issue. And we have that the role of intermediaries. There is no doubt that they are exploiting the farmers in certain cases, but in mandis and other places, and now even the farmers are happy with the intermediaries, as the intermediaries are able to bargain a huge, higher amount for farmers. So in that areas, farmers are happy, but overall, this problem is there. That means our farmers are easily being cheated by other people because they are basically ignorant and they don't have formal education. Even the socio-economic condition of the farmers generally are basically poor. Then we have signed a FTA agreement with different countries, and if you look at the price, that ratio and all, except with some commodities, we are having a adverse. I mean, that we won't be getting. Even I think a report prepared by Nidhi Ayog says that if, India could not gain much from the FTA agreement. And for the past around 9 years, we have been successfully exporting rice to other countries. But even though we are getting some benefits, but overall, if you take the whole volume of trade, we are not getting benefit. This is one side of the aspect. And if you look at the other side, that basically our farmers are uh, of marginal farmers. And as per the study conducted by National Sample Survey, if a farmer is having at least 1 hectare land as his own, he can um, meet the demands of his family. He can support a family. But if you look at the statistics, 67% of the farmers in India, their land is less than 1 hectare. So when the area is less, then naturally the cost will be very, very high. And another point is that if you look at the value addition part, the gross value addition, the agricultural gross value addition is very, very less comparing the other part of other sectors. If you take the statistics from 2011 to 17, that gross value addition was just 2.9%. Then productivity I have mentioned already. Then if you look at the mechanization part, again we have problem. See, India is one of the country, I think we are stood at first in terms of producing tractors. But if you look at the tractor usage, we are that usage is just 16 out of 1,000 farmer. This is the problem in mechanization. Even now also, the farmers are continuing what we call the agriculture as a part of their culture, not as a, I mean, like an industrial activity or not something like that. So they are following a traditional method. Even there are reasons for, I mean, many of them consider it as a part of culture, as I mentioned, but that doesn't mean that we have to follow the traditional method, not like that. Even the scientific committees are there, but the what I feel is that the discovery, I mean, there is no close connection with the agricultural scientists and the farmers. There is a gap existing in India. Then irrigation facilities. If you look at the irrigation facilities, we are heavily depends upon monsoon. And even now also around 37% of the agricultural land is being irrigated. The rest of the land is purely depending upon monsoon. So in some cases we are facing flood, and in some seasons we are facing drought. Around in 2016 to 17 in India, there were 268 districts were declared as drought zone area. Then in order to protect the issues, government launched what we call the agricultural insurance, like the Fasal Bhima Yojana. Even now also, if you look at the technicalities of that particular insurance, you will be knowing the difficulty. And even now also, the insurance coverage is given only for 26.28% of agriculture total area. And that casualty is considering on the basis of the taluk. I mean, that conditionalities are bit strange. Even now also, it is not. It is very, very. They are following a rigid mechanism to consider the agricultural insurance. Then another major issue is regarding agricultural loan. If you look at the reasons for farmers suicide, one reason could be the agricultural loan. So there is, even though we have well-defined banking structure and all, the farmers are not getting loan whenever they require money. And then loan waiver is another issue. I don't want to mention it much, because when we are waiving a particular loan, the farmers, the original farmers, are not getting the benefit. There are certain issues. And if you look at the marketing, as I mentioned earlier, that there are problems with the marketing. The farmers are not connected with the market, and lack of transportation facilities are there. Road connectivity is there. Even the government is that Atal Bihari Sadak Yojana, certain schemes are there. Even those schemes are, I mean, not able to bring the farmers into the market. And now, as a solution to this, government launched what we call the ENAM, the electronic marketing facilities for the farmers. And statistically, I think last year we have declared that 10% electricity in India, almost all rural areas are electrified. This is what government announced. But there were certain other reports coming that it is only statistically electrified, not fully. So again, if it is electrified also, that farmers, as I mentioned, they are already, basically majority of them are ignorant, so they cannot engage in e-trading and all. Maybe over the course of time, after maybe in the next generation, they may be able to attain all those tasks, but for the time being, it is not easy for them. Then again, the lack of storage facilities. So why I have mentioned this means, even in the bill, there is a separate provision for this lack of storage facilities. Due to the lack of storage facilities in India, we have wasting huge amount of food, fruits and vegetables. In Kerala, we are known for jackfruit. Jackfruit. It is not a cultivation in every home. You can see the jackfruit tree, but we are not able to process that jackfruit. This is the common problem across India. I mean, depends upon the places, the fruits will be different. Then transportation I have mentioned. And now some people are telling that the agriculture sector is highly subsidized one. So we have to reduce the subsidy. We have to reduce the subsidy. We have to meet the requirements of the WTO and their conditionalities and all. See, actually, if you look at the countries across the world, you can see that every countries are subsidizing their agriculture sector. Here the number is more, since the number of farmers are more, but every country, they are subsidizing the agriculture sector, because that particular sector is not that much a glamorous job, but we have to support our agriculture sector. So one mechanism is subsidy. We have to encourage them. Then again, if you look at the cost of production side, we know that it is increasing. So what I'm trying to say is that our agriculture sector is full of problems. I mean, we have institutional problems, we have structural problems, we have policy issues, and we have some other issues like almost all. We know that in India we are fragmented with religion or caste, or so many issues are there. All these issues are there. So if you look at um, a farmer, he is living with all these difficulties. Now I am just going back to my first slide, the same questions. Who is a farmer? So again, you can just rethink of these questions. Like here, I didn't mention the farmers number. If you look at the government statistics, I mean, there are statistics that says the number of farmers between 9 crores to 16 crores. I mean, around you can say that there are around 15 crores farmers are there. And out of the 15 crore, how many of them are having their own land is another difficult questions to address. I have mentioned this 15 crore on the base of the Prime Minister Kisan Yojana, and around 14.5 crore people got benefit out of that particular scheme. That doesn't mean that each and everyone is a farmer. Even I know some people, I mean, this government money, getting money is a certain mechanisms are there. And if you have land 5 cent or 6 land, if you apply through proper channel, if you have some connection in the village, you will be getting that money. So we have these issues across the country. So how many farmers are there? Basically, to be very frank, we do not know the exact number. And the contribution, if you take that contribution in terms of money, then their job or the farmers, I mean, they are not in the attractive position, but their contribute, they are the nation builders. Actually, without farmers, we cannot survive. Then average income I have mentioned, one of the lowest salaried or income received group is our farmer. Then the reasons, see, we can debate each other, like the farmers, they are taking loan and they are spending that loan for some other activities. People used to debate like this, but basically there are problems in our rural scenario, and that they are not getting, even though the government introduced the Kisan credit cards and all, I know that number has also increased over the period. There are slight improvements are there, but if you look at the other sectors, the improvements in the farm sector is not speeding up in the comparing the other sectors. But even though they face, do they, yeah, same question. So here, when we are thinking about the farmers bill, the government, when NDA government was in opposition, they were demanding to implement what they call the Swaminathan Commission. And when they are in the power, they can implement that Swaminathan Commission. But what they did, as a solution to all this problem, they proposed a bill called Farmers Bill. I think now there is no point in calling as bill; it became a law. So. So here we have to think what they need. So each one of us can think what they need, and what we need is also very, very important. Here you can see the Swaminathan's quote: if agriculture fails, everything else will fail. And I'll be winding up my presentation by saying one more sentence, that if you ate today, thank a farmer, respect a farmer. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh sir. Overall, it was a very nice presentation, and you made us think about various issues that the farmers are facing these days. We need to ponder on what we can do as individuals or nationals of a country, and what actually the farmers require. The problems that they face, which is actually related to institutions, it is structural problem also, and the policy related problems also the farmers are facing these days, and that's why such a bigger protest is going on in the country, and whatever the issues they are facing, it must be addressed by the government. That is one thing for sure. Thank you, sir, for your insightful presentation. Anyone has any questions can write in the chat box for Rajesh sir. If anyone wants to ask a question to Rajesh sir related to his presentation or anything, you may please write in the chat box. If there are no questions in the chat box for the time being, so much, Rajesh sir, for your presentation, for your time, and for making us think about all the different questions, that the issues that you have raised at the end of your slide. Thank you, sir. Now we come to the next session. Now I would like to request Mr. Nigel Jacobi, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics, Sacred Heart College, to introduce our next guest speaker, Mr. Rajat Mehrotra. Over to you, Nigel.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Anna. So I'm so happy to introduce Mr. Rajat Mehrota, who works as Deputy Head of Department and Assistant Professor of Finance, Commerce and Business Management at Amrapali Group of Institute, Haldani. He has 10 years professional experience, out of which 5 years in academics and 5 years in investment banking. He has served in a Bank of America and Deutsche Bank. He has published 15 research papers in top-notch IITs and IIMS. So he has a very good academic background. So Hattie, welcome, sir. So over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nijul sir. Rajat sir, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank Professor Dr. Aftab Anwar Sheikh, Principal, AKI Pune College of Art, Science and Commerce, Pune, Dr. Shirley K. Jose and Dr. Chaco Jose from Department of Economics, Sacred Heart College, Kerala, for inviting me to the National Symposium on Challenges and Opportunities for Farmers in India. Also, I would like to be honored to be with Dr. R.S. Deshpande sir, former director, Institute of Social and Economic Change, Bengaluru. Also, I would like to greet to my co-speaker, Dr. Rajesh, Assistant Professor, School of Management and Entrepreneurship, University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies, Kerala. Also, I would like to thank the program coordinators, Dr. Anna Mate and Mr. Nigel Jacobi, for organizing this event on an auspicious occasion of Farmers' Day. So I would like to thank all of you for inviting me and keeping this platform for enlightening the audience on the Farmers' Day. So I'll be share my PPT and let's begin this journey of what are the problems and the challenges being faced by the farmers. So I have chosen this topic, which is very much crucial and important as far as farmers, not only in India, but everywhere in the world is concerned. But let us stick to farmers and their condition in India. So the topic is credit facilities or the opportunities available to farmers and the problems faced by them. So as we all are gathered today, it is on the occasion of Kisan Divas, that is National Farmers Day, which is celebrated on the memory of our fifth Prime Minister, Dr. Chaudhry Charan Singh, who himself is a visionary and worked a lot for the improvement areas of farmers. And this day is being celebrated every year on 23rd of December, on the birthday of Dr. Chaudhry Charan Singh. Now, before moving further, let us put some insight on what is agriculture credit in India. Credit is considered as a catalyst that lubricate the process to accelerate the farm and non-farm sector development, including rural industrialization, business, service segment of the economy. So it is considered as a mover not only for the farm sector but also for non-farm development activities, without which you can't expect a healthy agriculture development as well as modernization without the availability of credit. Now, the credit helps farmers invest in creating assets to generate output and income through deploying science, technology, modern methods of business management. So it works like this, as water is very important to the body, human being. Same way, the credit is as important to the farm sector, without which you can't imagine that any resource will be procured and it will be converted into the end product in terms of the different food products which we all are consuming. Now, investments in farm can generate farm income sustainably when credit is simultaneously adequately supported by backward and forward linkages. Means input of production will be with the help of technology and services will be converted into the end product and that will be supplied to the Indian consumers as well as exported outside India also. And this will generate some income to the farmers which they will be using them for their own well-being. Now, why agriculture credit is taken in India as an important key aspect? This is now World Bank's view. Now, World Bank in its sector policy paper way back in 1975 highlighted some of the key aspects which will be taken care later by the Indian government along with the regulator, and now the different guidelines will be constantly being developed in Indian farm credit sector. What are these propositions insisted by World Bank? These are not only can credit remove financial constraint, but it also accelerates the adoption of new technology. Yes, definitely. It will not only remove financial problems, financial hindrances, but yes, it will be giving a new way towards using and implementing some modern technology. Second, credit facilities are also an integral part of the process of commercialization of rural economy, which is very much important nowadays as increased competition is there, globalization is there. So we need to commercialize our rural economy. Say somewhere something is being produced at a cheaper cost and they have their own advantage. So why not to make them give to the different organizations with the where each and everyone, farmer as well as the corporate, will be in a win-win situation. However, no amount of credit, even at the most reasonable rate, can guarantee higher productivity or income among the rural poor. Yes, definitely. As they relate now, World Bank related it that if you give more amount of credit, that is not a guarantee towards the higher productivity of income for the rural poor or the farmer. Why? Because it depends upon many other factors also, like the availability of available raw material, the services which the farmer avail in terms of their crop produce, the sound and fair credit policies given by the financial institution. These are also very much important, and how well your institutions are managed and regulated in a particular country, and appropriate delivery channels also. The credit is being delivered, disbursed, but it is not being handed over to the right hands. That is also very much important. Now, this paper briefly highlights serious issues of agricultural credit and makes suggestions for the government, RBI, and the legislators to resolve them speedily. Now, what are the issues facing agriculture credit in India? So, let me put you some insight on the credit flow. Credit flow to agriculture, more importantly, after the introduction of financial sector reforms in early 90s, increased from 2,85,146 crores during the ninth plan, that is from year 1997 to 2002, to 6,91,739 crores, which is 243%. During the 10th plan, that is 2002 to 2007, credit disbursement during the 11th plan, that is 2007 to 12, further shot up to 19,20,400 crores, that is 277% of the targeted amount you need to disburse. So it means, yes, definitely the credit flow increased from each and every consecutive plans. But what in further slides we'll see that what are the problem faced in terms of not only we have to increase credit, but we have to look into some other aspects also. Now, what are these? Impact on improving crop productivity and output has been not so satisfactory. Although the flow of credit increased, but the crop productivity improvement, their quality, the output is not so satisfactory, or in connection to the flow, it is not the in a appropriate ratio, leaving alone expected. This is one of the area which is itself is a question mark on the credit flow which is released earlier. Significant disparity in the flow of credit among states, districts, villages, and even within the village. Within the village also there are differences and disparities in terms of the usage of funds and provision of the credit to the agri farmers. Significant imbalances between short term and long term, between credit disbursed to agriculture and allied activities, as also across component of agriculture term loan like agri. So there is differences. There is no uniformity. Irrigation, development, farm mechanization, land development, plantation, horticulture, high tech agriculture, etc. Difficulty experienced to say and reliable access of institutional credit by small marginal and tenant farmers, sharecroppers, oral lessers, landless laborers, household residing in hilly, tribal, desert, drone prone, most backward and vulnerable areas in particular. So they are not having the accessibility to grant the credit. They don't have knowledge, either they don't have the means who will be issuing the credit to these individuals which are not in a living in normal course of the areas. Problems of loan repayment leading to building up a huge amount of NPA has been serious and pernicious. This is one of the aspect where there is no proper mechanism being taken as far as the loan repayment is being concerned. Now, what are the remedial, some of the remedial steps to be taken for agriculture credit in India in order to ensure that credit in particular and financial services in general achieve their intended objective? Now, the need to create enabling policy environment and effective credit planning is greater than before. Like we are seeing it now, these many years, definitely the policy enhancements are there. Different policies are coming in to give more and more benefit to the agri farmers. Government, RBI, and the legislator need to demonstrate a serious concern and commitment to address these issues. Yes, definitely. Following policy intervention, inter alia, need immediate attention along with formulating a strategic plan to resolve most issues by the end of 12th 5-year plan, and which is still in continuation. That yes, the government is definitely taking various measures to eradicate this hindrance of improper credit being granted to the farmers and in a uniform way. Now, what are the different enabling environments? The policy should address to create an enabling environment that can significantly enhance the credit absorption capacity of the geographical area and farmers in each village. So, each and every village, a particular locality, should have easy and convenient access to the farm credit with ease of the different policy options. So, what are these options we can discuss? Namely, investing significantly in rural infrastructure to improve farm fuel, energy, transport, communication, storage, processing, and marketing facilities. What they produce that should be immediately available to the outside environment for purchase. So, marketing should be efficient enough so that if that is being sold, they will be able to repay the credit amount borrowed to the financial institution as and when required. Establishing state-of-the-art agri-meteorology in all agro-ecological regions. Expanding irrigation and reclamation of wastelands, which is still a problem in India. Integrating agricultural education, research, and extensive services and strengthening capacity building of farmer to bridge the huge yield gap between the potential yields and actual yield at the field level in rain-fed and irrigating farming systems. So education and research, you should there is still a gap, and both the farmer as well as the educator should make a connection. They should, and then there is a fruitful policy development taken for the betterment of the farmers and the creditors and the institutions who are providing the credit. Development and use of genetically engineered seeds, micro irrigation system, greenhouse technology, integrated nutrient and pest management technique, computer-based modeling to track diseases and pest incidents. Yes, definitely. Because okay, a farmer produced a crop, something happened, the crop got destroyed due to some disease, due to pest. Now they are not able to repay the credit and they are already in the debt trap. So in order to do that, there should be a training research institute developed and there is constant monitoring happened on a yearly basis. Expanding farm mechanization program, promoting of remote sensing technology, definitely remote sensing technology should be promoted. Policy and program involving timely and adequate investment in agriculture would facilitate farmers access to frontier technology for production, food processing, preservation, farm to market, fork linkages, agriculture research and extension, weather, crop forecasting. Farmers should know it. They should be trained. There should be a proper research, large scale development of biodiesel, modernization, mechanization now, and commercialization of the agriculture should be done. An appropriate portion of very important aspect, an appropriate portion of public, private, and foreign investment should remedy the situation, not immediately but gradually, of investment shortage in agriculture. This is one of the key aspect. Yes, investment shortage, it will be done, eradicated through public, private, foreign investment and help transform a negative subsidy regime into a capital intensive positive agricultural marketing service regime and stimulate India's agriculture produce to global markets, to access to global markets. Various specialties are produced in India, but to some extent, due to shortage of fund, due to proper planning, due to suppliers, due to supply chain, it is not reached to the global markets. Drought, flood, and weather code need to be developed and used to seek short and long-term solutions to the recurring problem of flood, drought, and cyclone, thereby minimizing damage to rural livelihoods. They lost their produce, they lost their living, they lost their farm equipment. Now what to do for a farmer? All, and on the other hand, they have credit on their head. Now how they will be able to repay it? This is one of the main concern which need to be addressed. Government, agricultural universities, and Indian Council of Agriculture Research Institute, along with industries, business, and commercial houses, in close coordination, should accelerate their effort to accomplish this task by the end of 12th Five-Year Plan. And yes, development have been taking place in these areas, but that should be done on a phased manner. Now, lending, government lending guideline. There are certain government lending guidelines which you need to look into, and how it is actually a hurdle. Government lend guideline. The government has restricted individual banks lending to indirect agriculture not exceeding 4.5% of its net bank credit. So it's a small amount which need to be increased. As a result, banks do not consider lending beyond this prescribed limit for financing entrepreneurs who can provide contractual services to farmers, more particularly small and medium ones, in respect of facilities services such as input dealers, suppliers, seed, fertilizer, pesticide, farm equipment, machinery, cold chain, cold storage, warehousing, drilling of irrigation wells, tractor power, tillers, combine harvesters, transport vans, trucks, etc. So it will definitely give them employment if entrepreneurs will be given a financing option, and this 4.5% credit, total bank credit, need to be increased. They that have a tremendous impact on significantly improving the crop productivity and output, as well as the return on investment, not only to the entrepreneur but also to the contractual farmer who is being related, associated with doing the allied activities in performing the above mentioned task. Now, experiences and practical results from government decisions. Now, what is the result gathered? Experiences suggest that banks have been, since 1969 to date, receiving government mandate, which is a hindrance, which have to be strictly complied from time to time. This has impacted seriously on banks having lost initiatives for developing business from commercial viewpoint in rural areas that have an unfathomable reservoir of unexploited resources. which can be developed with the aid of science, technology, and financial services. Many areas are not touched upon in terms of exploitation of the farm agricultural produce, which you need to be done through the technology, availability of credit. It is therefore opportune time now the government to hold regular dialogues with consultation with banks on every issue rather than intervening in banks' affair in the nature of mandatory requirement. Open up the banks, talk to the farmers, talk to the technology personals, what need to be done in terms of procurement, producing, and gathering of the agricultural research and work accordingly. This would facilitate banks to produce productively and profitably, use their organizational, professional, managerial, and financial resources to design loan and other financial product to match farmer needs. It is not mandatory, but as per the requirement of farmer need, it need to be done in each of the 127 mentioned agroecological regions of the country, rather than one fits all situation or the guideline. Recruit farm friendly staff, train them to design, market, and deliver the financial products. So customized financial credit need to be given to the farmers, and all the associated individuals should be properly trained related to the market situation, the time horizon. The flow of indirect credit to agriculture has as much significance as the direct credit to agriculture. Both are very much equivalent, direct as well as indirect. Improvement in rural infrastructure, education of all rural households, training them to improve their inherited skills and acquire new skills. Provision of modern equipment and enhance productive use of bank credit, facilitate and link them with the technology. Accordingly, states must invest on an annual basis significant amount in creating and improving rural infrastructure, post harvest technology, markets, keep and make available market, do research, do marketing of the products, agricultural research, extension to make farming profitable, and increase the rural income by doing the technological mix, hybriding of the production, and also invest in creating training facilities, that is localized training facilities for a household in agriculture, rural, cottage industries, services, and business segments for sustainable development of farming and non-farming enterprises. So this is the responsibility of the state. Corporate credit structure, short term as well as long term, as a whole, has been since the 1980s manifesting financial, organizational, and managerial weaknesses. It needs a significant amount of resources for its financial revival and development managerial competence. So there should be short term as well as long term credit structure need to be defined, explained to the credit personnel. There have been a plethora of expert committee reports, of which the latest has been Vaidyanathan Committee report for its financial revival. The revival process, accompanied by efforts to capacity building of the staff, definitely well-trained staff need to be available, redesign of human resource development on the financial institution front, and training policy should be completed by now so that its impact of its implementation can be felt by the end of the year 12 and 17 and further years also. Simultaneously, commercial banks and regional rural banks may consider financial literacy weak. 50 development credit banks and 45,869 PSCs through mutual dialogue and consultation. So the approach need to be changed for the financial institutions also in terms of providing training, designing a financial credit structure, to name a few. Integrated agriculture credit approach. Now, what is that approach all about? Integrated credit agriculture approach linking credit and suppliers, input and services, technology, transport, storage, processing, and marketing included in one to improve productivity and add value to the farm product need to be operationalized in public-private partnership mode. For this, National Commission for Farmers has made a number of policy recommendations to find long-term solutions to the problem faced by farmers in rain-fed and drought-prone areas in its report submitted in way back in 2006. effectiveness of their implementation and commitment made in the parliament in 7 need to be evaluated in light of accelerating the credit flow. Much need to be done in terms of the credit flow in the Indian farming industry. Credit planning in India. Objective of credit planning and management are to, so it need to be done from every front: government, financial institution and bank, as well as from the farmers. Improve the quality and productivity of bank lending and minimize cost both at bank and borrowers level, as well as mitigate credit risk to an extent possible. Bring an orderly and planned development of all the villages and thereby increase the production, productivity and income level of the rural people. There is a register record what is the specialty of each and every village on a localized level, and any planned manner the credit, the development, the enhancement, the research, the training, the meeting of the bank official, the technology provider, as well as the farmer need to be taken place. Experience and expertise of qualified and trained bankers at the branch level should therefore enable them to identify all those hindrances, financially included households, and access their banking credit and other non-financial needs through field studies. Definitely, the banker should be told that you need to go to the villages and do the field study. And prior to taking a particular case, you should have a thorough knowledge of the economy of the particular village and household economic profile. You are giving loan to X person, you should have a family economic background of that person as well as the village he belongs to. What are the positives and negatives in terms of farm manufacturing available in that particular village that you need to be taken care of. Then, to improve the credit planning exercise at the grassroots level, the following need to be done: effective involvement of concerned bank staff and cooperative of state government is necessary, such that progressive in terms of rural household in villages have been given proper loan designed in such a manner that it is economically beneficial to that rural household, as well as it will be a cash flow to the farm industry. Credit should not be restricted to agriculture only, since a large number of landless laborers with no land and marginal farmers with limited landholding can be provided credit. Not only that, yes, you are having land, only for you there is a particular credit facility available. Landless laborers who have involved in other economic activities also, like income generating activity like in agriculture, animal husbandry, poultry, fishery, sericulture, non-farm sector, rural cottage industry, handloom, handicraft, choir industry, and business segment for housing, consumer durables, social, religious, health, education, debt wrapping purposes, taking into account their credit history, and accordingly they judge and assess the capacity of them to repay the loan, and accordingly provide them also some sort of credit. This approach would increase the per capita credit too, which is very much low in India. As the rural and semi-urban branches have been operating for over 4 decades, they must have now reliable and authentic data on the credit history of existing clients, which they assess, rework on them, and bring up in a proper credit proposition, which should facilitate them to widen and deepen the rural finance business with confidence. So, rural finance business should be taken with pride, not with just a compulsion by the government mandate that you need to disburse. The branch should properly identify households presenting depending upon non-institutional sources of credit, partially or fully, and help them switch over to bank for their credit needs. NABARD may need to operationalize the concept and procedure of debt swapping and provide proper guideline to banks for implementing at field level at households according to NSSO in 18 states dependent heavily on non-institutional sources of credit. And they paid exorbitant interest rate, which have been significant economic and social costs. So NABARD need to be a watchdog in terms of rural credit. They need to come up with such guidelines where the credit need is a debt swapping, and it is to be renegotiated as per the need and requirement of the situation. Bank on merits of individual loan cases take the decision to restructure loan or write off the uncollectible loan on a regular and continuing basis rather than awaiting government intervention for wholesale write-off, violating the credit discipline and culture. Massive publicity efforts are need to create awareness, most important awareness among all category of households, and social services and procedure to avail them. For this purpose, village level seminar meeting can be organized, and education in terms of print, regular platforms to be created in terms of live credit availability sessions to educate the village farmers on a regular and continued basis. Improving farmers' income. Now, how do we improve farmers' income? The role of credit to agriculture cannot be viewed just as support to food producing activity. Another aspect, not only to food producing activity, but need to focus on the overall income and economic well-being of farmer. As agriculture has been basic requisite for national sovereignty, the extensive literature analyzing the relationship between agriculture and non-agriculture growth in India confirmed that farm and non-farm sector in rural areas are complementary to each other. Farm and non-farm both need to be put an important aspect and a package, and each and everything should be done in terms of both farm, agriculture as well as non-farm, because both are associated. Rural credit policy program should be designed in such a way that it should focus both farm as well as non-farm development. Only then it will be able to alleviate the rural poverty, deprivation and suffering of the agriculture landless farmers. Now, reaching the unreached. As new technology are ushering in banking services become more affordable, but you need to make it more accessible to the rural farmers. Harnessing the power of technology presents significant opportunity for financial institution to reach dispense the client. But now, due to increased technology, you are able to reach the client for providing them financial services in their own domain territory. More importantly, the resourceful commercial banks in the developing economy can profitably make use of these technology to automate agriculture, rural and micro credit, which is ARMF, Agriculture, Rural and Micro Credit System, to reach at a large audience which are earlier used to be unreached. It will save time, cost, energy, and give the result in an appropriate and a quick manner. The technology can yield significant benefit to ARMF service providers and their customers. Banks may consider implementing the technology in a customer friendly and cost efficient manner so that automated loan disbursements can be done in a client to client basis in a customized manner. Personal digital assistance reliever loan officer. So a dedicated loan officer carrying bulk client files to the field, improve quality and reduce transaction time. Definitely, there should be a proper research done on a case to case basis on a particular individual village, which will not only reduce the time, but also reduce the transaction record in terms of maintaining them. Credit scoring efficiently and reliably categorizes customers according to their risk profile. Now, credit need to be given based upon the risk aspect of the customer, which will help a loan officer exclude ineligible and risky applicant from borrowing. This directly save cost and improve the allocation of loan loss provisions. Not only as far as retail loan losses are concerned, there is a huge debt burden in terms of agricultural loan losses also, as I mentioned in previous slide. Installation of ATM can have handle multiple transactions and can reduce the cost of opening branches, offices, and providing staff in remote area. Technological advancements such as use of smart cards, ATMs, mobile banking services, enhance security and flexibility. They want to repay the installment, they can easily pay through these mediums, which customer value much and help increase customer loyalty. Automatic processes enable banks to conduct transactions faster and at lower per transaction cost and in more dispersed locations than branch staff can do. So I've taken my presentation from three references, that is the different circulars of Reserve Bank of India, Bank of Baroda credit schemes, as well as the India microfinance. Thank you very much. At last, I would like to just say this, that none of the stakeholders, whether it is government, whether it is financial institutions, or whether it is the takers of the agriculture credit, all need to uniformly come and work together and work for this crucial aspect of agriculture credit. Only then our agricultural produce, agricultural market share, and the farmers will be benefited in a larger and longer way, bigger way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It was a very exhaustive presentation. It has included almost all the aspects of various credit facilities available and the requirements of credit in farming. And also, Sir has discussed and described what is the World Bank's view on farm credit, that it must ensure in removing the financial constraints and also accelerate the adoption of new technology and the commercialization of rural economies, which was very well explained. And Sir has described about the various financial credit products being available and how they can be customized as per the needs of the farmers, so as to provide them the maximum benefit, and even the banks can participate equally in the upliftment of farmers of our country. Thank you so much. It was a very nice presentation, sir. I'm very thankful to you. If anyone has any question, you may write in the chat box. I have enabled the chat box for Dr. Kamal Krishna, sir, has raised his hand. So can you write your query in the chat box, please? So at the time we receive any query, I'm very thankful to you, Rajat sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule and providing these inputs and insights to all our participants. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. Uh,
Thank
okay. Our next session, the last session, we have Dr. R.S. Deshpande, sir. I'm delighted and honored to introduce our chief guest of the symposium, Dr. R.S. Deshpande, sir. He's got a very detailed profile, and I could not think of what to omit and what to include, because there were so many interesting facts and so many achievements that he has in his personal writing that I was really in a dilemma that what should I omit, but a brief introduction of this, sir. Uh, Dr. R.S. Deshpande, sir, is currently the honorary visiting professor at the Institute for Social and Economic Change, Bangalore. He was the former director of ISEC, Institute of Social and Economic Change. He holds a bachelor's degree in science and master's degree with a PhD in economics. He was also the leader in economics at the Institute of Politics and Economics Unit. He joined as a professor and head of Agricultural Development and Rural Transformation Center at the Institute for Social and Economic Change in 1988, where he steered the mega study on farmer at the millennium and completed many research studies. His specializations include agricultural development, watershed development, political economy of agrarian changes, WTO, agriculture and trade, rural policy and poverty, and applied economics. Professor Deshpande is a recipient of PNASF Gold Medal for his contribution to agricultural policy and Sir M. Visvesvaraya Global Leadership Award in Karnataka for excellence in education. He was among the first two awardees as Fellow of the Indian Society of Agricultural Economics in 2011. Professor Deshpande received a Lifetime Achievement Award from Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, where he was educated. Professor Deshpande authored 17 books and more than 110 research papers published in national and international journals. His books include Aggregating Crisis and Farmer Suicide, Where Water Seeps, NGOs and Farmers Movement in India, Moon in the Mirror, Farmers and MSP in Karnataka, to name a few books. He has supervised PhD thesis of 11 students and has been the principal advisor to another 8 students. He has contributed significantly as a member of many policy bodies which include Advisory Body of the Ministry of Commerce, Government of India, WTO Stand of Government of Karnataka, Committee on Farmer Suicides appointed by the Government of Karnataka, Mission on Agriculture and Marketing, etc. He is also the member of many boards of studies, governing bodies, governing boards of institutions and universities, and also prestigious government committees. Apart from all these, he is a poet and an artist. It is an honor and privilege for me to welcome you, sir, on behalf of AKI Pune College of Arts, Science and Commerce and Sacred Heart College. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Over to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Anna. I am a little bit non-traditional person. Absolutely non-traditional in the sense that I don't believe in taking attendance of the people who are present there, so and so, so and so, so and so, and I'm grateful to so and so, so and so, so and waste about a few minutes in that. You all know who are present. You all know who is what, and you all know they are connected with me as one of very good friends. I'm very happy. There's only one thing which I would mention, that my son, Professor Vilas Adao, is attending the workshop. Professor Adao is one such person whom I have taken from his mother as a young boy, and from there to today, I have been with him. Other than that, I would not mention anything. And I'm also Anna, who is a very persuasive person, who got me uh, to agree and deliver this lecture.
It's
Friends,
our honor that accepted our invitation.
friends, there are
Yes,
we are knowledge seekers.
yes,
We are knowledge seekers, and therefore there are two types of knowledges which are going around us. One, the pure knowledge, which I must accept if I'm wrong. The second one is tainted knowledge, which I can hear. I need not protest, but I can leave it. So these are the two knowledge fields which are around us. Unfortunately, for the last 2.5 decades, I have seen that a large number of we, the educated beings, are seeking non-knowledge than knowledge. I'll be answering a few questions which have been raised earlier, but then I would stick to the diktats of Anna. Anna has dictated that I should speak on this. So I will be speaking on what she has dictated it to me. But in the meanwhile, I'll also be telling some things which are of good importance to you. Friends, today, as you know, is Farmers' Day. Farmers' Day, and Chaudhary Charan Singh, who was the Prime Minister of this country, and you know how long he was Prime Minister, from 28 July 79 to 14 January 1980, prohibited to become Prime Minister all through. But then finally, it was such a situation that he had to be taken as Prime Minister. We celebrate Farmers' Day from his time. It was declared that this day shall be Farmers' Day, and we are celebrating since 80. We have not celebrated for the first 3 decades, nothing about the farmer. But then in the 80 onwards, we celebrated it. And Rajesh has asked very interesting question, what is farmer? Very interesting question. And let me tell you that after the farmer at the millennium, and this farmer at the millennium is a study which you all must know at least. These are 27 volumes, not one book. 27 books, a set of 27 books published in 2002 by the then Prime Minister. And the 27 books each book take a review of that particular field. And you name anything in agriculture is contained in these 27 volumes. I have not written all the volumes. I have written only 2 volumes. But then the rest of the volumes are written by about 57 authors. And you name anybody in agriculture economics in the entire country, right from Swaminathan onwards till G.S. Bhalla or Abhijit Sen, they are there as authors. Now, what is farmer? After the farmer at the millennium, the Ministry of Agriculture, we had a meeting about it, and we said that we don't have data about farmers. And then the entire ministry woke up that we don't have data about farmers. And NSSO was asked to collect in its 59th round data on the farmers. There was a working group. I was a member of the working group. Professor G.S. Bhalla was the chairman of the working group, and there were V.S. Vyas, all senior people. Some of them are no more. Were the members. The half a day or more than 3/4 of the day we spent on definition of the farmer. And therefore, we need to understand what is a farmer, because it's not a homogeneous commodity. It's not something like we pick up wheat and we say that every grain is of the same size. No, every farmer is of the same size is not true. There is a heterogeneity of farmers across this country, and the heterogeneity is something which is extremely, its variation is huge. There was one question which was to be entered into that survey, which was called the situation assessment survey of the farmer. And that question was one which was asked to me by an old farmer from Karnataka, from Gadag. He said, "Sir, you give me or my son a job of a peon who earns about 6,000 rupees per month, and I'll write my entire land on the name of the person who gives the job." I said, "Why?" He said, "I don't get that much money at all." Exactly what Rajesh said, 6,000 approximately. That is the thing what farmers get today. This question was asked to me in 2000. Now look here, that I had put the question asking the farmer, do you want to quit farming? All people, entire group got onto me saying that what nonsense, Deshpande, you are speaking. The land is so close to the farmer, and the farmer may insult you, insult the investigator, saying that what are you talking? I prevailed upon. And then finally that question was put. And you know what was the answer of the question? 40% of the farmers said that they would like to quit farming. And hold your breath. It is not 40%. 5.9 million farmers have left farming between 1991 and 2011. This is in the population census. When 1991, after the economic reforms, to 2011, 2021 survey has to come, census has to come. So we'll have larger number of farmers living. The situation is that the farmers are not homogeneous. There are viable farmers who can take 98,000 tractors to Delhi. There are non-viable farmers who don't have even food to eat. There are farmers who don't have shelter. There are farmers who have 10 crores income from 10 acres. A daughter of a agriculture minister, and that's what Rajesh has asked the question. Show me one farmer who's a millionaire, billionaire. Forget one. I can show you 53% of the members of the parliament of this country are billionaires, and they are farmers by their declaration to the election commission. Rajesh, note that. The problem is that we really don't understand the nitty-gritties inside, and therefore, what is the vocation of Prakash Singh Badal or Sukhbir Singh Badal? They are farmers, and what is their value? Sukhbir's wife has 212 crores as her wealth. Rajesh, note it. Prakash Singh Badal, who is a farmer, his value is 87 crores. He's a farmer. And therefore, we have to know nitty-gritties of what is a farmer. I go further, and the picture shows you very clearly one Anita Yogesh Mudi. She is from Maharashtra. She is a progressive farmer and has income, oh, not billions, not millions, not lakhs. She has an income of about 25,000 per month from her farm. There is a farmer below. That's a farmer. He has an income of about 12,000 per acre from his jola, from his jowar. Now let me go to Anna's asking. Anna said that you give us challenges faced by the farmers and the opportunities in front of the farmers. When I speak of one by one challenges, I'll tell you the things also. Rajesh asked one more question, two more questions. I answered him. First question is that he said, how many farmers we have in India? We don't have the count. Yes, we have the count. There is something called Agriculture Census of India. This is being done from 1771. And in each village, all the farm records, the cultivated land is recorded by the village accountant. And the land is on somebody's name. And that fellow's name is entered as the operational holding. Today, we have 146.45 million operational holdings in 2015-16. The next census will be in 2021, this year. But 15-16 census gives us 146.45 million holdings. In 2010, the holdings were 138 millions only. So increased by about 8 million holdings have increased in the farming sector. The farmers have increased. In any case, where the increase is there, I'll talk about it. First point of challenge is shrinking size of holding and shifting of economic viability threshold. Economic viability threshold, Professor Dantwala had said that we want small farms, not small farmers. Small farmers in the sense that the farmers who do not have enough income to meet their needs of 2 foods a day for their family. Today, the farm size in this country as on 15-16 is 1 hectare, just slightly above 1 hectare. And you know what is 1 hectare is 2.5 acres. And what is the income from 2.5 acres is about 7,000 rupees. And how many farmers earn this 7,000 rupees income for the 1 month? Forget about the irrigated ones who earn a little more than that, but the dryland farmers earn even 3,000. 36,000 is the maximum that they earn for the whole year. 36,000. Now, how many of them are there? 126 million small and marginal farmers in this country. And this 126.6 million, they earn only 3,000 per month. Mind you, in 3,000 per month, are you able to manage your family? They don't have any marketable surplus. They don't go to the market. They are not permitted to go to the market. They don't have anything to sell. Whereas the farmers who have marketed and marketable surplus are 6 million, almost 20 times less than the small and marginal farmers. But then the 6 million farmers are the ones who hold the entire roost of the entire agricultural policy, whether it is crop insurance, whether it's MSP, whether it's a price fixation, whether it's irrigation, whether it's irrigated land, whether it is the income coming from, whether it's a subsidy, anything you take, it is the 6 million farmers who gobble it. Shrinking net income flow due to increasing cash component. We had Green Revolution. We herald Swaminathan as the father of Green Revolution very wrongly, because BP Paul, who was a agriculture scientist from Kerala and who was the Director General of ICAR during 1967, was the person who mooted the idea of Green Revolution. And he was the one who traveled abroad. He was very close friend of Norman Borlaug. And Norman Borlaug, if you want to read it in Punjab Agriculture University auditorium outside. Norman Borlaug has written about BP Paul, saying that this man brought single-handedly Green Revolution to India. But then, after BP Paul retired, he retired in 1970. By the time Green Revolution was established, after BP Paul retired, he shifted to US. He donated everything that he had, and you will see BP Paul's house in Pusa Institute campus. He donated everything. But then he also donated the title of father of Green Revolution to somebody who fostered it, who borrowed it without having a real right on it. That is Swaminathan. Anyway, I worked with Swaminathan in Swaminathan Commission's report. I was the chairman of a subcommittee of the Swaminathan Commission report, and I was the one who objected for one thing, that a report cannot be 1500 pages. Sir, if we are giving recommendation to Government of India, that should be not more than 5 to 10 pages so that they are implementable. Why the commission report is not implemented? Because it is 1500 pages and recommendation galore. Recommendations are galore. Everywhere there is a recommendation. I was a member of that subgroup, which was on agricultural economics and marketing. Apart from that, in the marketing, exactly the thing which are there in this bill and act were recommended by Swaminathan Commission report. So when people say that implement Swaminathan Commission report, one of the thing is implement this act. People do not read. People do not see. People do not bother. They are opposing it. Yes, oppose it. No problem. But read it, understand it, oppose it. No problem. Because we are democratic. Now, the shrinking of income flow is mainly because of the Green Revolution, which increased the cash component in the cost of cultivation. Added fertilizers, pesticides, irrigation cost, electricity cost, cost of seeds, cost of pesticides, and so on and so forth. The cash component, when it increases, and the income component or the gross value of output does not increase with the same rate, the resultant is that the net income flow shrinks to the farmhouse. If I'm working, I'm earning a lot of money. My salary is 1.5 lakhs per month. My wife, the moment the salary is done, on the first week of the month, she goes out and she buys things worth 2 lakhs. Will I be rich? I'm earning 1.5 lakhs, but then spending 2 lakhs. With farmer, exactly the same thing has happened. That the cost in 1979, I'm not telling today, 1979, Professor M.V. Nadkarni wrote in Economic and Political Weekly about increasing cost, and he compared the Madhya Pradesh farmer with Punjab farmer and saying that Madhya Pradesh farmer has a better income avenues than Punjab farmer because the cost is not increasing. Also, V. Ratna Reddy wrote a similar kind of thing in Indian Journal of Agriculture Economics, that the cost is increasing and we have to rein the cost. Yes, reining the cost was done by providing subsidy. Fertilizers available at cheaper rate. Wonderful. And many people think that subsidy is something savior of the farmer. No, subsidy is savior of the industries. I'll tell you how. Subsidy is given to fertilizer industry in order to meet. They sell fertilizer to the farmers. If they don't get any money, they will sell fertilizer at 100 rupees per kg. But then Government of India wants to sell it at 20 rupees per kg and promises the fertilizer producers that we will pay 80 rupees per kg to you from your costs. They are happy, fertilizer company is happy, they sell it at 20 rupees, no problem. Subsidy is given to farmer? No, it's given to the fertilizer agency. And remember, Oswald Group of Industries once said that if needed, and they went on increasing their cost of production because cost of production was being met by the government of India. They went on increasing cost of production so much that it was huge. But the fertilizer subsidy has to be kept. Farmer has to be given at 20 rupees. And this 80 rupees went on increasing to 160 rupees. So 160 rupees were going from the pocket of the government to the Oswal industries or to the fertilizer industry. Farmer was getting at 20 rupees and farmer was feeling happy that I am getting it at 20 rupees. Subsidy is given to me. It is not given to him. It's given to the industry. And when was this? This is in 70s it going on. It's going on. We turn a blind eye towards it. I wrote about it. I wrote about it in popular newspaper like Economic Times. I wrote about it in Indian Journal of Agriculture Economics. I gave a keynote address in the ICAR. I gave several times I told. But then this subsidy continues to be there. It is not to the farmer. Subsidy is given on electricity to the farmer. Yes, very good. Electricity is supplied at a cheaper rate because the cost of producing electricity is subsidized by the government. And what is the cost? Cost includes not only production of the electricity, but also the jeep of the engineer, the other expenditure of the engineer, the guest house of the company, the entertainment allowance for the staff, filling up of the new posts and increasing the staff. Once I calculated in the irrigation department of Maharashtra, there was against every 1 hectare, there were 1.73. Against every 1 hectare irrigated, 1.73 persons were employed by the irrigation department. Whereas 1 hectare irrigated is not one farmer even. Now look here that the farmers are not bearing themselves. They have to look after the family and income of these irrigation staff, of these electricity staff, of these fertilizer industries. And that is what is the subsidy. Now, the higher cash requirement forced the farmers to depend largely on the credit market. A very good presentation by Rajat on farm credit. I was since 83 I was associated with NABARD. In between I was also on their board, and a large number of persons right from Pierre Naik, I was working with them. Now credit can be provided. I can borrow credit because I get 1.5 lakhs per month, so bank will easily lend me. But then out of that credit, I should produce income sufficient in order to pay back the installment. Am I ready to produce it? Because my income generation out of the credit will depend on the market giving the prices to my product. I am borrowing credit for the coaching class from Rajat's bank. 50 lakhs I borrowed, purchased the a hall, and I started my coaching class. Hardly 3 students came. Hardly 3 students came for continuously 3, 4, 5 years. 3, 4, 5, 7 students. I am not able to earn anything. And the students initially were giving 5,000 rupees. Afterwards, sir, we are coming, so we'll give 1,000. The income is coming down. With farm sector, that exactly has happened. That we have pushed credit through their throat. And because of that, they were indebted for no reason. One of my students worked on this cascading effect of credit. They were not ready to take it, but still, and they were not needing it. But when you give credit, somebody is very happy to take, because let us see afterwards, I may earn. That doesn't happen, and therefore they started borrowing both from formal and informal market. Informal market is very strong. Informal market even today. You may refer to Radhakrishna Commission report. Radhakrishna Committee, again, I was one of the members of the group. Radhakrishna Committee tried to look into how much is the informal market in India. And you will be surprised that informal money market exceeds the formal money market. And interest rate is very cheap in informal money market, just 5%. 5% as against some 9-10% of the formal credit market. But this 5% is per month, which means if you have to compare it, it is 60% per annum as against 10% per annum on every 100 rupees. Means you borrow 100 rupees and you pay 160 in the year itself. This is operating strongly in the market, in the village, everywhere. And these are the people. I had visited 132 families where farmer suicides had occurred. And all these people said that they borrowed because they wanted to go to the higher income. Today, despite the presence of networks of banks, rural banks, farmers, the people in the rural areas depend on money lenders for one reason. There is a phobia. There is a phobia for me too, for many of us. When we go to bank and the clerk says, your Aadhaar card, your PAN card, this Aadhaar card will not work here. Your name is R.S. Deshpande. It happened with me. Remember, it happened with me. Your name here is R.S. Deshpande. Your name on the card is Ram Deshpande. Your name here is Ramchandra Sri Krishna Deshpande. What is that? We can't give you. You get Aadhaar card with the correct name as on PAN card. 1 month is lost. This is how the formal credit institutions work. Kisan credit card, a wonderful name and a wonderful scheme. Really a good scheme. Really, I'm saying that. But then failed because of the operations of the babus. The Kisan gets a Kisan credit card and goes to the bank and asks for the how much will I get on this? It's a crop loan. The other person sitting, the bank person sitting on the other side says, according to your card, you and your zameen, you will get 15,000 rupees. 15,000 rupees. They do. Shall I give? Yes. So immediately he takes signature and gives him 15,000 rupees. He doesn't need 15,000 rupees. He needs only 3,000 rupees in order to buy fertilizer, seeds, pesticides. But he takes 15,000 rupees, spends 3,000 for this, and remaining 12,000, he buys a TV, or he buys clothes, or he gives it to somebody, or he buys something, he repairs his house, whatever it is. The sowing season is over. Harvesting season comes. He needs money. Kisan credit card money is over. Bank will not give because you already borrowed. So he has to go to the money lender. Therefore, the money lender is something who is always there and have stayed there. The money lender is the one who is locking the interlocking, and Kailash Raf has written on that, interlocking of credit and produce market. This credit and produce market interlocking is very interesting. That I grow soybean and I have to sell soybean, but when I sown the seeds in my farm, my daughter's admission came. 25,000 rupees needed. Bank doesn't give any money for daughter's admission. I go to the money lender, who is the market operator in my market. He says, अरे आइए पटेल आइए, क्या हुआ? नहीं, वो लड़की का एडमिशन. अरे तुम्हारी लड़की पढ़ रही है इतना अच्छा? हाँ, 25,000. अरे क्या 25,000? 5,000 का ये भी ले लो, 30,000 ले जाओ. ए सुनो, इनको 30,000 दे दो, कैश दे दो, और सुनो वो एक सिग्नेचर दे देना. बस अपना जब भी सोयाबीन आ जाएगा दे देना अपने को, उसमें से कट कर लेंगे. Now look here, this is an interlocking of the market which goes on anywhere and everywhere in this country, including Punjab. And this interlocking is so strong that the people are tied with them. Suddenly for daughter's admission, you get from nowhere, but this man with such a big heart gives 30,000 rupees. I asked 25,000, he gives 30,000. Interlocking is done. We turn our blind eye to these facts. Increased commercialization has created a lure of going towards commercial crop. And therefore, the commercial crops are the one which have to go to the market. And if they have to go to the market value, market price for the commercial crop should be appropriate. And that appropriate price works on the economics of cobweb. You all have learned cobweb theorem. Suddenly, when soybean comes to the market, the prices fall down. And I know what is APMC. I was on the committee to inquire about. Rajesh has mentioned the 6 farmers were killed in Madhya Pradesh under firing. 12 farmers were killed in Tumkur district in Sira APMC yard during on 28th October 1998. I was on the committee to inquire why were they killed. The reason was that the farmers had tough argument with the traders who had made the groundnut rate to fall down so much so that they wanted to throw the groundnut there itself and grow because the transportation was not coming out. Now, there was an argument and the scuffle ensued. Somebody said something, koi gali diya, and immediately hatapai pe aa gaye. The moment they came on, the one police inspector, he took baton in hand and he started beating farmers. 2-3 fellows were beaten black and blue, but then they got angry. They burned the police inspector live. Firing took place. 12 farmers died. Now, what was the problem? Was the police inspector problem? Was the farmers agitating was the problem? Or it was the price that was the problem? It was the price that was the problem. And therefore, it is something which has increased commercialization, has increased the expectations of the aggregate and also the aggregate risk. The urbanization and urban-centric development is one of the curse. There are 2 persons entering into Pune College, your gate. One very suited, booted, another person with a dhoti and a mundasa. The watchman will not allow the other person even if he is anybody. Or suppose I come in that attire of wearing a dhoti, a dirty dhoti and a dirty shirt and a mundasa and a chappal in, whereas Professor Adhav comes with a full suit. They'll say, Adhav sir, you please come in. आप कौन है, कहां से आए, ये क्या देशपांडे का मतलब क्या होता है, इधर ही खड़ा रहो, प्रिंसिपल को पूछ के आता है. We have unfortunately urban centric and the shining model of development in front of us. This was given to us right after independence. And we think that urbanity is development, not developing the rural areas, but urbanity is development. Consumption, like an urban person, is something which I should get. Increasing dependence on the state for anything and everything, we look at the government. The government should do this, government should do that. And this has started since 1970. 1970 onwards, we increased the dependence on the government, and I call it a governmentality. I gave a lecture of Kalyan Sanyal Memorial Lecture at Kolkata on governmentality. How we depend on, we made the farmer government dependence like drug dependence. And the farmer looks everything to the government. Any scheme comes, it comes through either the Tahsil office or the government servant. And thus, the farmer becomes subservient to the polity because the local polity, local political leader or the state political leaders are the ones who can take the farmer to the scheme. And that's an easier route. So he becomes subservient to the entire polity and remains at the mercy of either the government servant or the local politician. This making the farmer as a beggar, is something which came out of our developmental policy. I wrote about it when it is there in Swaminathan Commission report. Making the farmer as a beggar, this particular sentence is there in Swaminathan Commission report. Why do we make him a beggar? We make him dependent on the state. It is his right to take it. But then we pretend that we, in the sense state, government, we pretend that we are making something great for you. Farmer today has become a political coin. Every party, damn it, any damn party, small, big, anything, is we have to do something for the farmers. We have to do for the Annadata, we have to do for this. Nothing is done. At the end of it, nothing absolutely happens. If the present systems, you take for example APMC or MSP, were functioning perfectly well, which means that the farmers were getting the prices very well, then I would ask Rajesh, why the farmers threw the potato on the ground? If the prices were proper in APMC, if the prices were proper in tomato, then why the farmers have to throw tomato outside? If the prices are proper in the government controlled market, then the farmers will not be in distress. They will not commit suicide. If that was so, was MSP operating? No, it doesn't operate properly. I had done a survey of 13,000 farmers in 13 states of this country. 2 states dropped out, so 11 states remained, which means 11,000 farmers. And this is a study on impact of MSP on the farm sector. Except 4 states, nowhere MSP operates properly. That is Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh. Except these 4 states, nowhere MSP operates properly, including my Karnataka. In Karnataka, once the corn prices collapsed. I was on the Agriculture Prices Commission of Karnataka. So immediately we took a decision that we'll purchase the corn from the farmers because prices have collapsed. Now, by the time we took the decision and the decision went to the cabinet, it took almost 1 week to 10 days. So we decided that the corn, maize will be purchased from the farmers. One condition, the farmer has to give the record of right, ROR, record of right, along with the quantity that he is selling at MSP. So about quite a few, about 100 tons of maize was procured and sent. I was doubtful. I, as a member of Agriculture Price Commission, was doubtful. So I took 100 names and sent a questionnaire, just a few things. Name of the farmer, size of holding, how much he had the production of maize, how much he sold, and whom did he sell. Now, you will not believe, except 10 of them who sold it directly to the government agency, all of them had sold at below MSP to the traders, to the small time traders in Dharwad, Hubli, Gadag, Bijapur, all of them. And these traders in turn sold it on MSP. Now listen, the MSP was something at 700. These people, the farmers, sold it at 600, 620. In between, the trader got 80 rupees per quintal. 80 rupees per quintal easily in the pocket without doing anything. Now, this is something which is happening in the field. Farmers from drought-prone areas and rain-fed areas are exposed to the hazards for ages, and that has become abode to the poverty. Safety nets are selectively working like crop insurance, MSP, state machinery, not positively placed. All these are corrupt. Let me give you a very wonderful example of Ludhiana Mandi. I was sitting there. I was inquiring about, and there was a strange thing that the farmers were selling even to MSP, even though the market prices were far higher. I was intrigued. Why is it so? Why the farmer wants to sell it to MSP when the market prices are much higher? I sat there and the Sardar friend of mine by name Grower, usse baat karte. I started talking to him without just observing. 10 quintals of wheat came and somebody was operating it. One man from the office immediately got up from the chair, went to the person who brought it in the trolley. He asked how much, he said 10 quintals. So he picked up a sample in order to grade the wheat. So the wheat was C grade. I could see that it is C grade, lot of moisture. By the time slip came out, it was B grade, which means 20 rupees per kg higher. For 10 quintals, it is 20,000 rupees difference. Okay. It went for weighing. When it went for weighing, again, the weighing slip came out for 15 quintals. 20,000 here and 5 quintals additional there. All that he gets the slip, he goes to the account section, he gives the slip, he gets immediately a check. He takes the check, and while he was leaving the market yard, the person who got up from the chair comes behind him. Ha, kaise hai? And suddenly he puts 10,000 rupees in the hand of that man and leaves. Now this is the operation, and that's why MSP is very popular. Money, whose money goes? It goes of the government. It goes from the pocket of those for which we need to work. The exploitation by artyas, traders in grading, weighing, and interlocking of traded and product market. I told you earlier. Arresting the spite of suicides and agrarian distress. Now, remember that farmers are terribly in distress. Not the ones who are agitating, but the ones who are non-agitating. They are not agitating because they cannot agitate. They cannot have a tractor to go to Delhi. They cannot do it. They have day-to-day survival is their problem. And you know, presently 2 million hectares and 5.9 million cultivators have disappeared between 2011 and 2015. 2011 agriculture census shows the area as 159.59 million hectares. 159.59 million hectares was the area operated in India under agriculture. By 2015, the area comes down to 157.42. 157, which means about 2.17 million hectares have been lost. Now, where has this lost? And apart from that, 5.9 million cultivators have disappeared from 91 census to 2011 census. Now, this is something which is the farm sector distress. And therefore, we have to distinguish between the farmer and the farmer. Look at the farmer on the left side. Look at the farmer on the right side. This is the farmer. Left side farmer is the one whom I have seen very closely all over this country. Right side farmer I have seen in sporadic places in the country. Certainly, the farmer we have to understand, and that is the question first Rajesh has put. Who is the farmer? Sharad Pawar is a farmer. 32 crores and 1 crore per month income. Supriya Sule is a farmer with 10 crores from 10 acres. And you take any MLA of any, Yediyurappa Sahab, our chief minister, big man. Now he has to, again, the case is opened up when he went to jail for the land scam. Again, the case is opened. He may have to go again. How much is the wealth? Wealth is 232 crores. My area MLA, his age is 25 years. You know what is his wealth? 745 crores. 745 crores. Farmer. Rajesh has asked this question very well, that how many of them are lakhs and millionaires? I give you the list. Don't have to. You just get onto CSDS site, Center for Studies of Developing Societies. They collect the affidavits given by MLAs, MPs for election. And these affidavits are signed affidavits. They are punishable because if you give wrong information, Modi has given that he has passed. So it was in the court. It went to Supreme Court. That lady, Smriti Mukherjee, had given something. It had gone to Supreme Court. So these affidavits are challengeable in the court. They cannot be lightly written. And nobody writes lightly, my wealth is 745 crores. Nobody writes it. If they write it lightly, they'll say 7 rupees or 7.45 rupees. collect the wealth of these MLAs, MPs of any state. From Kerala itself, you collect it. You collect the among the first 5 richest MPs in the country, one of them, and that's what is. Rest of them, some BJP, some Congress. But I was surprised. One of them is from CPIM, Datta. He is from CPIM. Now, this is something which is intriguing. Farmer then and farmer now. What is farmer then? It was viable size of holding. He was self-sufficient at that time, was not dependent on anybody, not dependent on government. He was cultivating, his seeds were there, his fertilizers were there, he was cultivating. Today, small and marginal farmer dominate and unviable holding. And since it is unviable, he has to depend on somebody or the other, either government, money lender, bank, or somebody else. Or finally sell it off and get out of farming. Largely food crops economy with low share of commercial crops was there that time. 80% food crops and 20% commercial crops. The household was 20% commercial crops used to meet the cash needs. Out of 80% also they used to sell. Now, largely commercial crop economy dominated. Food crops to commercial crops is 60-40, which means 40% is commercial crops. And in that, the prices play the havoc. More farmers, more family labor, less hired labor or exchange labor. All were working on the farm. Today, share of hired labor and machine labor has increased from, it is 70% and 30% household labor. Absentee farmers are large. Large number of farmers are absentee farmers. You ask anybody, even you ask professors in the university, how much land you own? 2 acres. How much land you own? 20 acres. No, do you go and cultivate? No. Somebody cultivates it. The reason is that these white-collared farmers have increased substantially. With some marketable surplus earlier, market linkages managed through the village. Through the village, they used to manage market linkages, and there was not large profit motive because the surpluses used to small. Now, there are strong market linkages with larger marketable surplus and commercialized farm and farmer. Then earlier, local and farmyard inputs were being used. Farmyard manure, local seeds, local pesticides, neem, etc. Now, purchased inputs with advice from the dealers. Then, low consumption of urban goods, less dependence on urban goods. Today, high consumption of urban goods and high dependence on urban originating goods. Sufficient income for the family and also sold the produce. Now, low income and high dependence on debts and government schemes. Now, this is something which has changed the farmer's personality itself. Now, what are the opportunities? I'm not saying dark everywhere. I started with challenges, but the challenges are very dark. And since the challenges are dark, we need to find out ways and means out of them. The ways and means out of them are simple. First thing is we have to have farmer producer organization, which should be formed in each village. Why do I say that? Because the bargaining of power of the farmer has gone down. It's terribly weak. And therefore, farmer can be heckled anywhere, either in Tehsil office, Panchayat office, by the politician, by the Sarkari of Mulazim. Anybody heckles farmer if they get together. And that is one great thing out of this agitation I find. That if they get together, they can show the strength. And if they show the strength, people will bend. If they bend, things can improve. And only with that objective, I say yes, farmers' agitation should be there. Diversification towards high value crops and searching for the new markets. We need to diversify for the crops for which new markets have to be found out. These should be far flung and with remunerative prices. One of the farmers started growing this dragon fruit in Karnataka. Lakhs of income, almost monthly he gets 1 lakh. And dragon fruit is nothing but our cactus. a different type of cactus. And this entire dragon fruit is exported to Arab, UAE. Entire produce is exported every month. Look at that. Then there is rose farmers in Kolar district. The entire produce is exported to Netherlands, the land which creates flowers. Netherlands buys flowers, rose flowers, cut flowers from Kolar farmer. Diversification of new vocation, resurrection of the artisans. Rural artisans are dying, but then they have to be resurrected. Bidar, there was something called Bidri work, which was world famous, which more or less died because income was shrinking. Middlemen were taking larger profits and they were getting paltry sums. So they stopped working. They got into better avenues. Better avenues means construction work. And it is necessary to rehabilitate them back to their work and get their work. Cobblers, carpenters, there are hundreds and odd artisans who have gone out of work. We need to rehabilitate them. And that's the responsibility of the banks to rehabilitate, not to give loan at the rate of interest, which will be impossible for them to pay back. Participating in international and interstate trade and processing the agro products in situ and the innovative markets. Agro products, innovative markets. The innovative agro products like the jowar flakes as against corn flakes. Jowar flakes can be produced by the drought-prone areas of Karnataka, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, and these can be replacing cornflakes if just a little bit of processing is properly done. Decentralized development initiative should become very strong. That the village has to be dominated and administered by the village panchayat, not by the tahsildar, not by the collector, not by somebody coming from the state headquarters. All government schemes to be directed through this three-tier panchayat system. And I appreciate Kerala has that. Kerala has that. And therefore, in Kerala, panchayat system is so popular and so powerful that it can do or undo any development scheme. And they have done a lot of development scheme in most effective manner. Opening farmers organized markets in urban areas, just a farmers organized market, like a Kolar market in Bangalore or the Nagar market, or sorry, Shirur market in Pune. Just a small space in which Shirur market name is given. Anything that comes from Shirur Taluka is sold in Pune in one marketplace. People will come and buy. Who will come and buy? Direct consumers will come and buy. From whom they will buy? They will buy from the farmers. And then the price fixation should be done by the market committee of that Shirur market. And that is something which will give them better returns. Opening farm schools at Hobli level. We had farm schools earlier. Today, the villages have become old age homes. Only old people cultivate land. No youngsters want to stay in farming. Village farm schools, instead of sending them to study Pythagoras theorem or sine theta cos theta. You all have learned sine theta cos theta. How many times have you used in your day-to-day life? Something which you don't want to learn, which you don't want to use. Why learn it? Learn something which is life skill. Certain things which you want to learn as a hobby, you will learn later. Then farmers innovation groups. Farmers can be very good innovators, and this has been proved. But the governments after governments, right from 70s onwards, I have seen that how to suppress the farmer innovator as against the agricultural scientist. The best case is in Maharashtra, and I quote this case very often. Datta Khobragade, Dada Khobragade. Dada, his name is Datta. Dada Khobragade is a 7th standard passed rice grower, and Dada Khobragade has released 11 rice varieties. 11 rice varieties. He was such a poor fellow. I think Professor Vilas Adao met him when I was given the Lifetime Achievement Award. Dada Khobragade was also given Lifetime Achievement Award because he also belongs to the same area. 11 rice varieties which are very popular in Vidarbha, Marathwada, and in Maharashtra. He himself invented them. And how much land he had for this experiment? 1.5 acres. And what did he get out of it? Punjab Rao Krishi Vidyapit stole, I repeat the word, stolen his grains and released it as PKV variety, as variety from the Punjab Rao Krishi Vidyapit scientists. He had to fight a lot up to Supreme Court with all paltry sums, whatever he had. He won the case. When he won the case, Punjab Rao Krishi Vidyapit had to give a written apology plus compensation of the case cost to him. Dada Khobragade did not get, he got Padma Shri, but he did not get further than that anything. There is a scientist who had released 7 rice varieties in Karnataka, who became vice chancellor 3 times, has got Padma Bhushan. 7 varieties, and his varieties are not very commonly used by farmers. 7 varieties released by a scientist, 11 varieties released by an uneducated farmer. 7 variety fellow gets 3 times vice chancellor plus Padma Vibhushan, and 11 variety fellow has to pay his, when he died, his bill of the hospital had to be paid by somebody else. This is the situation. Friends, it was very nice to meet all of you and talk to you. I'm little emotional as far as farm is concerned, as far as farmer is concerned. And I have spoken with a lot of emotions packed in it. Second thing is, I don't allow anything which is wrong information. Rajesh, the farmer suicide data till 2018 are available. And the Crime Record Bureau has published 2019 report also. So these data are published both at the center and the state level. The state level data are available at Directorate of Statistics of every state. And these are compiled from the Home Ministry of the state and sent to the center for further compilation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you're very much audible.
Yes, thank you, sir, for this enlightening presentation. It has not only increased our knowledge, but also truly it has broadened our vision for looking at the farmers and their situation from a different angle. You have explained in depth about the various opportunities and the problems that are being faced by the farmers, and also the opportunities available for them. Like you have discussed about the shrinking size of the land holding, and the net income flow is also shrinking because of the increased cash component and in the cost of cultivation. And the way you have given the live examples of how the different subsidies are being provided to the farmers, and they're actually and they're not directly reaching to the farmers. But there are factories or for example, the subsidies provided in the fertilizers. Factory owners are getting the benefits of it, and also the viable and unviable farmers, the difference between what viable and unviable farmers are, and overall the overview in the difference in the previous era that we had of agriculture and how the current era has evolved, and what are the major problems that we are seeing in the current era, especially the absentee farmers who have increased. And I was very much into the lecture that you were giving and learned a lot from you, sir, myself, and I hope that most of the participants also learned many new things also, and they must have gotten a different idea of how to look at the farmers and how they actually are facing different kinds of problems to really not economy in our country. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, sir. I'm truly obliged. And I'm just thanking you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this symposium today.
I thought you will be serving tea.
I will for sure.
Uh,
That's
get me some tea.
yes, sir. You will for sure. Whenever we get a
No,
chance
she has taken your order.
to.
My wife has taken your order to give me tea. She
Thank
said
you, sir.
all through you were talking so much from the bottom of your stomach. So now your stomach needs some warm tea.
Refreshing to you guys. Plus, you have, I mean, you have shared all your experiences, the live examples that you have given. That was also amazing. I mean, I was totally into your lecture, the entire lecture. Thank you so much, sir. Enjoy your tea, and hopefully we can collaborate in future as well.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining.
Rajesh, you need any data or any information about whatever I have said, please get back to me.
Rajesh, to you, please.
My mail address, you will be having it from Anna.
Yes,
Hmm?
certainly. I'll do that.
Because we need to be very truthful when we make a strong statement.
Yes, yes.
Is it
Yeah.
over?
Yes, yes, sir. I'm very much thankful to you. I would request Checo Joe, sir, now to give the vote of thanks for the session. Checo, sir, over.
Thank you, Anna. So we have now come to the close of the National Symposium on Challenges and Opportunities for Farmers in India, organized by AKI's Pune College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Pune, and Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, Kerala. The session was presided over by Professor Dr. Aftab Anwar Sheikh, who is the principal of the college. So I would like to thank Professor Aftab Sheikh for presiding over this function. The chief guest of the day was Dr. R.S. Deshpande, former director of ISAC and who has held so many other positions and who has brought out the three strong messages. One is farmer has been made a beggar and a political coin, and village has become an old age home. So he was so truthful in his comments. He said he was emotional. Yes, he was so emotional and truthful in his comments that we have understood so much about the situation of Indian farmer, the challenges and opportunities. So on behalf of the organizers of this National Symposium, I would like to wholeheartedly thank Dr. Professor Deshpande for his inspiring words.
Thank you very much.
I would also like to thank the guest speakers of the day, Dr. Rajesh K. and Dr. Rajat Mehrotra, who highlighted the issues that are being faced by farmers at a various front. They raised certain questions which later led to discussion in this webinar. I'm thankful to both Mr. Dr. Rajesh and Mr. Rajat for their lecture. I also thank Dr. Shirley Jose, Associate Professor and IQAC Coordinator of Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, who introduced the topic of today's discussion. Then I should thank two very special people for today's event. That is the program coordinators, Dr. Anna and Mr. Nijil. Dr. Anna is representing AKI's Pune College, and Mr. Nijil is representing Sacred Heart College. It's actually these two people who worked behind whatever we have witnessed today. The all from the planning stage to the preparation of the brochures, sending of communication, the setting up of the plan, the preparation of certificates, everything. So I think we should all be extremely thankful to Dr. Anna and Mr. Nijil for playing a very important role in the organization of this symposium. I also thank everyone else behind the scene. I know there are many people who are giving technical support for airing this live through Zoom as well as YouTube, and others, other members of the team of both the AKI Pune College and Sacred Heart College for their support. Now, last but not the least, I thank all the participants from different parts of the country who registered for this and enthusiastically participated in this national webinar. So I thank all of you once again for this successful event. Thank you. Over to you, Anna.
Thank you, sir.
Shall I leave? Shall I leave,
Yes, sir.
Anna?
Yes, sir, Deshpande sir. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay. There are a few announcements before we conclude this session. There's a certificate of participation which we'll be sharing right now. I'm sharing the feedback link in the chat box where you all can fill in the feedback form, and you will receive the certificate in 1 week's time. I mean, only 100 certificates can be issued in a day. So from today onwards, the first 100 participants and the next 100, in that sequence, you will be receiving your certificates. So please be patient. Just fill this feedback form, and you will certainly get your certificate of participation. And there are some specific things that you can pay attention to if you want to submit your chapter for the publication in an edited book with ISBN. And this chapter you can submit to me and Idil sir. I'll be providing you all the mail IDs, both of our mail IDs. And the editors would be Dr. Aftab Anwar Sheikh sir and Dr. Chakrajuj sir, and we will be publishing these chapters in an edited book with ISBN number. And the last date to submit your chapters is 20th of January 2021. So it's information for those participants who are interested to submit their chapters. We will be providing you all the details through the Telegram and also mail ID, the mail ID that we have of yours during the registration. So kindly fill in this form, the feedback form, and thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, team Sacred Heart College, for helping us out and both of us are organizing it in a better way. And also, I'm thankful to our technical support staff, Dr. Imran Mirza sir, and the other teachers who were involved. Also, I'm thankful to my own HOD, Dr. Shahid Kamal Ansari sir, our principal sir, and all the staff members of the Commerce Department, Pune College and Sacred College. Thank you everyone for joining. With this, we conclude the session.
Again, thank you for your comments. So as we have told, there is a link in the chat box, so you can get your certificate from by filling this feedback form, and it may take, as Anna said, may take 1 week at least, maybe. So thank you for all for joining this one. Thank you.